Greetings, neighbors. This is Reflections, a show sponsored by the Paducah Cooperative Ministry where we, all of us together, do God's work with human hands. My name's Gregory Waldrop. I'm the pastor at Fountain Avenue United Methodist Church, and I'm one of your hosts for the Reflection Show. Our other host, Karen Winkle, is not available today, so I'm here all by myself, and I'm glad you're here. Happily, I'm not on the set all by myself. We have with us folks from Bellewood Presbyterian Homes for Children.
Yeah, that's a mouthful, isn't it?
It is a mouthful. We have Gwen Taylor, who's the executive director, and Craig Felker, who is the sort of the visitation person.
Case manager extraordinaire.
Case manager, well done. And we are so glad you're here. We want to hear all about Bellewood and the very important work you do.
Well, I'm excited to tell you about Bellewood
good.
because that's one of the things that I've been hearing. I've been with Bellewood almost a year now here in Paducah. I'm a native of Paducah, and I moved away for a while to Owensboro and then to Louisville. I became familiar with Bellewood when I lived in Louisville. That's where our head office is in Louisville. I returned back to Paducah, back to my native homeland, and there was a position with Bellewood, and it encompasses everything that I'm passionate about as far as working with young adults, teaching, and so I'm very excited to be a part of Bellewood. What we do, Greg, is we work with youth who are aging out of foster care. Yeah. These youth, I say youth, I tend to call them kids sometimes, but they're actually young adults, are 17 to 21. They were the fastest growing rate of homeless in the United States. Wow. Therefore, we have several different programs that we use to help these youth become independent to lead healthy lives, and hopefully we're doing that in a spirit of Christ's love. Yeah. Bellewood is a 150-year-old agency. It's been around for a long time, but we've only been in Paducah 3 years. Right. So a lot of people say they haven't heard of Bellewood, so thank you for having us on.
I'm thrilled you're here, and I'm so pleased about it in all the ways that I know about it. What are some of the services you provide there? It's obviously a residential.
No, actually it is not. I'm glad you said that because that's a misconception a lot of people have because of the name Bellewood Homes for Children or Bellewood Presbyterian Homes for Children. A lot of people think there is a home. And what this is it's an independent living program. So our office is in a very nice historic home on 6th and Monroe, right behind First Presbyterian Church. And what we do is we find an apartment. A youth comes to us, we interview that youth to see if they're ready for independent living. In other words, are they willing to work, go to school, stay drug-free, and do the things that they need to do to meet the goals in their lives, as I said, to become, to lead into healthy, independent lives. We set them up in an apartment. We furnish that apartment completely with living room furniture, bedroom furniture, kitchen furniture. We get their sheets, their towels, their cleaning supplies, pots and pans, everything that they would, all those basic necessities that a person would need to set up a house. And then Craig comes in. That's where Craig's role comes in. And I'll let Craig talk a little bit more about what he does with the youth to ensure that they're about our services and ensure they're going where they need to go.
Well, you set that up kind of. She was laughing when she said that, so. But I'm the case manager, and my roles specifically, once they are placed within our program, is a weekly, we're supposed to at least contact them weekly, but when you're dealing with these young adults, it's daily.
More often.
It's daily, it's weekends, it's nights, it's holidays. The reality is that these kids don't have a great support system, or they probably wouldn't have ended up in the foster care system to begin with. So they're coming into an age where, yes, they are adults. They have free will. They have the ability to make decisions on their own. But we want to be a positive role model, trying to connect them with mentors, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But I specifically am working with them to make sure that they are going to school every day, that they're not sleeping in. We get that sometimes.
Sure.
Took a call this morning, but we want to make sure they're in school because most importantly, their education is really going to be their future. We know, in our lives and in the lives of people around us that, I was blessed where I had this situation where my parents helped me go to school. Some of these kids just don't have that positive reinforcement to get them there.
Models to sort of absorb. Sometimes it's not even a matter of conversations or instruction. It's just something out there to see and model.
And coming out, I can't remember the stat, and Gwen can correct me, but I think it's 50% of kids coming out of the foster care system don't get their high school diploma.
Yeah, around there.
So we see kids that need, one, to just get in and get a GED because they've dropped out for whatever reason, or they've fallen through the crack. We've seen kids who the furthest they've gotten their education was middle school. So the education really is their key to success and their future as far as life goes. So that is number one priority, and I'm making sure that they're doing that. Two, we make sure they work. When they recommit to the state at the age of 18, they're committing also to work. That's life. I used to say we ask a lot, we give a lot. I think I've come to realize that I don't know that we're asking more than life asks.
Right.
So we're asking them to work, we're asking them to go to school. In the meantime, we are helping them facilitate that opportunity by providing their rent and providing some oversight into their life. I'm also, I see them weekly as far as their apartment, making sure they're keeping it clean.
Right.
You can't have alcohol. Not supposed to.
Overnight guests.
Yeah, I mean, it's, at times the kids, once again we say kids, young adults, they think that, we're in their business, but we're just really trying to be.
Help them succeed.
That's right.
In all kinds of ways.
That's right.
Now, does it include college kind of encouragement in any way?
Oh, certainly.
Definitely. In fact,
isn't there some funds available, special funds available for?
Actually, for foster youth, if any youth who has been in the foster care system is eligible for a tuition waiver to a state school. So yes, that is, again, if right now all of our clients are in school here at West Kentucky, except with the exception of one who's at high school. So they do receive assistance with that, just like any other youth would as well. I mean, because there are grants and loans available, and so they do receive that. But Greg, we're amazed at even the small things that you and I may take for granted, that when these youth come out of a group home or a foster home, and a group home is what people used to refer to as an orphanage. Okay, so I mean it's the same dynamic. It's 10 to 12
clusters of people.
And so they come out and they don't know how to cook. They don't know how to do their laundry necessarily. They're terrified of banks because in some of the environments that they grew up in, you didn't put your money in a bank. You hid it under the bed.
Right.
They have gone through, many of them have gone through some issues that, create barriers that we have to sort of break through gently, issues of trust. And, they've been hurt in the past. So, but those daily life skills that we tend to take for granted sometimes, those are issues that Craig battles with too every day, as far as really sitting down just to say, okay, this is how you clean your house. Every couple of days you do this, every week you do this, and about once a year you do this. But those are things that they just didn't get when they were in that group home or foster home.
Yeah, I mean, I had a client when they first come into the program. The first day is kind of it's a tedious day in the sense of there's a lot of paperwork. But then we take a trip to Walmart and we do that initial grocery shopping. We do the initial buying some of the household items that they need, toothbrushes, soap, cleaning supplies, what have you. I took a client several months ago and spent $78 in groceries, okay? And I asked him, I said, what else do you need? We have a certain limit. We could spend a little bit more. And I said, what else do you need? We're sitting there looking at everything, and I wanted to get his input on it. And he looked at me and said, no, this is great. I could eat on this the rest of the year. It's like, well, no, you couldn't. But but in his mind, that was a ton of food. $78 at Walmart. Yeah. It's not a lot.
Right.
But it's the little things. I had a client call me, actually a former client call me a couple weeks ago and tell me she just thanked Gwen and I for being in her life, and she said that's all I really wanted was just someone to be there for me.
That's neat.
And
how many people do you all serve?
Right now we're low on clients. Right now we only have 5. We have the capacity for 13. I've applied for a grant for Paducah for a need that I see because I've had people contact me and tell me, and Craig as well, contact us and say, I've got a homeless youth, but they were never in the foster care system.
Right.
So we're looking into, there is a grant out there where we could provide the same services, but they just would not have had to have been in foster care. And there are a lot of those that, slipped through the cracks that grandma took care of, and they were never put in foster care.
Right.
In fact, we've just talking to PCM, we have a pretty good relationship, with them, and it's amazing the amount of young adults that are out there that are homeless, that fell through the cracks. Maybe they didn't have good support at all, but they didn't end up in the foster care system.
Right.
We would love to be able to do and offer the program that we have for them. But we've still got some hoops and trying to jump through and to see that happen.
We just got a minute or so before the break, Craig.
Okay.
Anything else you want to make sure we know about?
Well, one, thanks again for having us. It's the big thing here is just getting the word out.
Yeah.
Only being here for 3 years.
It's so important.
A lot of people just don't know. They don't know that they hear homes for children, so they think we're residential.
Our children.
Exactly.
This such an important population here. Can you imagine? I can't imagine any more vulnerable time than 17, 18, 19, and just being sort of dumped out of the system without any support and expected to carry on.
Sure.
You're making that happen.
Well, and one thing that if people are watching this and they say, how can I get involved? This is really neat. I'd love to step in and help, but maybe I don't have the kind of time to be a foster parent or what have you. We do have some opportunities to mentor, and we've seen there's some great statistics, and I'll let Karen talk about that after the break because she kind of works with the mentors. But that is a great way for people to be involved, and our goal is to have every client, every young adult attached to a mentor. Because as a case manager, I'm limited to, there's only so much time I can be with them. They need more than just me. They need more than, we need to get them as many positive influences in their life so that when they're making these decisions, they have a resource and a pool of people that they can
If we have time, Greg, I'd also like to mention another program that we're getting ready to offer.
Let's do that just after the break. Okay?
All right.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you.
We'll be back in just a moment.
In mission together we all join our hands. In mission together throughout many lands. With our hearts united, our voices we raise to God our Creator in glorious praise.
Welcome back, neighbors, to Reflections, the Paducah Cooperative Ministry program where we do God's work with human hands. We're here with the Bellewood Presbyterian Homes for Children. We're back with Gwen Taylor, and now with us is Karen Story, who's the Vista AmeriCorps worker, particularly in charge of mentoring here at the with Bellewood.
Good morning, Gregory. It's great to be here.
Glad you're right here. Glad you're here with us. Tell us a little bit about your job.
Well, Bellewood realized the importance of mentoring to our youth.
Yeah.
So they wrote this application to AmeriCorps and brought me in as a Vista volunteer, and it is a full-time position. I couldn't be happier to be with Bellewood. It's a wonderful ministry. Again, Bellewood realized the importance of mentoring. They have done studies, and there's wonderful organizations that do connect youth with adults. It's the key to bridging that gap. Like Craig has said previously, they don't have a lot of good role models, a lot of good experiences. This is connecting with a caring adult is what bridges the gap to success for these youth. We try to connect them with an adult who will work with them about an hour a week. So it is a commitment. The neat thing, though, we found out in reading and doing our research, about 99% of all folks who have mentored will recommend it to a friend. It is not only a good experience for the youth, but the mentor gains a lot out of it as well.
Yeah, I often tell the people at my church that the luckiest teenagers in the world are teenagers who have an adult friend outside their home, and conversely, the luckiest adults are the adults who get chosen by a teenager.
You're exactly
to
right.
be a friend.
Absolutely.
And I couldn't agree more with you about this vitality, importance of mentoring.
Craig touched on the importance of education. A lot of these youth, unfortunately, have not had a lot of positive experiences in the school system. They fall through the cracks. Having an adult outside of the caseworkers, the social workers, that it's a big boost to their morale to know that there is just an adult who just for their own benefit wants to work with them, with that youth. It makes them feel very special. They do, it's a relationship. It's not just a volunteer thing where you come in every now and then. You really develop a relationship with these young people, work with them, take them under your wing and into your heart.
That's great. That's really neat. You are responsible for finding them, training them?
The whole 9 yards. I've been lucky. There was a Vista at another Bellewood facility that sort of developed my manual, but we have come in the Vistas from the ground up with Bellewood, which, like we said, it's not just in Paducah. We have 5 facilities. We developed the entire program. I have been out and about in Paducah telling people about Bellewood and the neat things we do and recruiting the volunteers. We do an extensive background check. We want to make sure that our youth are matched with safe folks. We fill out all the paperwork. We do about a 2-hour orientation and then connect the adult with the youth based on everybody's different interests and likes, backgrounds. We just were really blessed recently. A woman said, I would love to work with someone who's in the nursing program. We had just placed a young woman into the nursing program here. So we have connected these two. Great opportunity for study skills, for parenting skills, for just socializing. They've been down to barbecue on the river and had a good time, gone down to lunch. And so again, it's been a win-win for both of them. This woman had sort of been out of nursing for a while, and she said it's bringing back some memories.
Really? Oh, neat. Where would any of us be without those figures in our lives that put their arms around our shoulders and guided and cared and absorbed some of the shock of early adulthood for all of us, isn't it?
I remember those days when you go to college and you don't really know what you're doing. And I was one of the few lucky ones with family privilege. That's one of the neat terms I've run across for those of us that had supportive parents and family that helped us start out on our own well. So you can imagine what a big challenge it is to start out in college with maybe some rough beginnings. And unfortunately, a lot of our youth do have some emotional scars that they are working through. So again, having that caring adult, it's study after study has shown it can make the difference in them succeeding in their life skills, succeeding in school, and like Craig said, and I'm can't echo that enough. Education is the key to their future. Staying in school and getting that degree.
Great. Now I know you can. You certainly need folks to step forward to be mentors. I'm suspecting there are other things that people can do in the community to support Bellewood and their mission?
Greg, there are so many ways that people can help Bellewood. You know, in light of our economic times right now, of course, I think everyone's looking for money, but you know, that's not my primary goal this year. My primary goal for Bellewood is to promote awareness of what we're doing, to, yes, recruit mentors to connect them with our youth. I had one of the clients share with me coming back from a meeting in Princeton that prior to her 18th birthday, she was absolutely terrified. Many of the clients tell me that, you know, they were terrified during that 17th year because they didn't know where they were going to end up. They didn't have anyone. So the mentoring is a crucial piece of that. But people can help by, if you can't mentor, we can also buddy mentor, where two people maybe share that responsibility. And as I said, we also furnish these apartments from the ground up. We can always use, when you're cleaning out your house, we can always use, especially kitchen things, bakeware, pots and pans, toasters, you know, sandwich makers, these little trinkets that we can't necessarily buy for them. So donations, TVs, DVD players, we can't buy those things. I also, each month, at the last Monday of the month, I have a guest speaker from the community come in to talk to the group about a life skill. It can be about banking, it can be about cooking, it can be
job skills, budgeting, anything. We had someone from Hope Unlimited come and talk about sexual integrity. But a lot of people, you know, have gifts that they can share, you know, with the group about some type of life skill. That's another way that someone can get involved and volunteer.
Great. Neat. Make sure we know, you've told us where you are, your phone number, and any other ways to contact you?
Yes.
Is that a good way to contact you?
Yes. I carry my cell phone with me all the time, but and it's on our office number if that happens to get it. But our office number is, of course, 270 and then 443-8181. I think we're listed in the phone book under Bellewood Center.
There is a website.
There is a website.
It's www.bellewood.org.
And Bellewood, I might mention, has an E in it. It's BELLEWOOD. I also wanted to mention, before we took the break, I said there was something else I wanted to talk about. We are also implementing here in Paducah. I work very closely with the Department for Social Services in Western Kentucky. The social workers have expressed that we don't have enough foster parents. That's why so many of these kids are ending up in group homes. We are starting a foster care program. Actually, this just happened in the last 2 weeks. So anyone who's interested in foster care, in giving of themselves, giving in their home, to take a foster care child in, we would work with them on that. We would provide training for them, an excellent compensation. Craig or another case manager would assist the foster family by checking in, making sure things are going well. So anyone interested in foster parenting, he wanted to take it a step further than the mentoring. Now these wouldn't be for the adults, obviously, they would be for the younger children.
All ages, yeah. And at various levels you can get children who are in the system at different levels who need different levels of care. And that's great. That's great. What else? Anything else? We're right down to the last few minutes. Anybody have anything you want to make sure we know about?
Well, I would just say, if you're listening to this program and you're hearing us talk about Bellewood, and you're touched by that, spread the word about Bellewood. That's what I hear in the community. I didn't know you existed. This is an awesome thing. And it is. I mean, as I said, this position just encompasses everything that I could ever want to do in my life. I've got a great staff. You've met Craig, you've met Karen. I couldn't be more blessed with staff, and we have an outstanding group of kids right now too that we're working with.
And an important work, an important program. So pleased to see and to find the church in these transitional times where people are particularly vulnerable. I do think it's pretty clear biblically that God's going to ask us about what we've done to with the most vulnerable people among us, and this is certainly,
it says that in Matthew. Did you feed the hungry? Did you shelter the homeless?
The lonely?
You know, so and with the holidays approaching, you know, of course, we're looking at some ways that we can help our clients with Christmas. You know, if there's a church organization that would maybe like to make a donation for the holidays, you know, the older ones are folks who won't necessarily get on an angel tree. Last year during Christmas, several of the clients called me. They were lonely. So we're going to offer this year, I think Craig and I both talked about that, you know, we may do something with the clients on the holiday this year. But as I said, if there's an organization that would maybe like to donate throws, you know, something warm and cuddly for the clients, that would be great too.
Great. Yeah, I'm sure you will all come to church meals to give programs and to
Absolutely.
Sunday school classes and
we
all
love
that
to
sort
talk
of
about
thing.
Bellwood.
That's great. Thank you all so much
Thank
for being
you.
here.
Thank you again.
It's a very important work. I hope you all will take very seriously the important work of Bellewood Presbyterian Homes for Children and all the important things they're doing for young adults just out of the foster care system. If you want to see this show again, you can see it at www.paducah2.org. There are archived reviews and programs from times back, including this one. We're glad you've been here with us. We hope your day is good and strong and holy. We hope you'll join whenever you can, wherever you can, however you can, join us in doing the work of God with human hands. Shalom.
In mission